The Galactic Council chamber was built to make descent feel small. It stretched wider than continents, a hollowed ring of obsidian alloy and living crystal orbiting a blue giant star. Light from the star refracted through layered energy fields, painting the chamber in slow-moving bands of color. Every species the galaxy considered relevant had a seat here. Some floated in tailored gravity wells. Others rested on living platforms, or coiled within atmospheres crafted to match distant homeworlds. At the lowest tier, deliberately far from the central dais, sat the human delegation. One chair. One figure. Admiral Elias Wren folded his hands and waited. The council did not rush. It never did. Power, to them, was demonstrated through patience. The High Arbiters allowed silence to linger long enough to remind everyone present who controlled the pace of history. A ring of hollow panels ignited above the chamber floor. "Proceed," intoned High Arbiter XY Fallon. The voice echoed without amplification, a natural resonance shaped by centuries of ritual. XY Fallon's form, tall, faceted, and faintly translucent, shifted within the gravity field surrounding the central platform. A rotating projection of Earth appeared. Scarred continents. Melted ice caps. Cities reduced to fossilized outlines beneath reclaimed forests. Species designation, human, XY Fallon continued. Origin world, Sol 3. Classification, former Deathworld. Current status, recovered, unstable. Images shifted. War footage. Nuclear detonations. Starving populations. Armored vehicles rolling through ash-filled streets. These records, the Arbiter said, are not ancient by galactic standards. They are recent. Self-inflicted. Repeated. Murmurs rippled across the chamber, clicks, pulses of light, chemical scent fluctuations. Judgment without words. Wren did not react. He had seen these images before. Humanity had archived its own sins in far greater detail. The Council recognizes Earth's survival, XY Fallon went on. However, survival alone does not grant sovereignty. Especially when paired with a demonstrated inability to maintain internal stability. The projection zoomed out, placing Earth among the stars, small, unremarkable. Humanity has no registered interstellar fleet of consequence, the Arbiter said. No standing alliances. No strategic deterrence disclosed. By every measurable standard, Earth is. XY Fallon paused. Helpless. The word landed heavily. Wren felt it more than heard it. A cluster of avian delegates fluttered in agreement. An insectoid representative emitted a satisfaction signal. Somewhere above, a species that communicated through harmonic vibrations struck a low, approving chord. The Arbiter's gaze finally shifted downward. Admiral Elias Wren, XY Fallon said. You may speak. Briefly. Wren rose. He was average by human standards. No ceremonial uniform, no insignia beyond a simple Terran emblem at his collar. His posture was straight, his expression unreadable. High Arbiter, he said, his voice carrying without strain. Members of the Council. Humanity acknowledges its past. We do not deny it. A few delegates leaned forward, intrigued by the lack of defiance. But you are not here to judge our history, Wren continued. You are here to decide our future. XY Fallon inclined his head. Correct. Then I will be precise, Wren said. Earth does not require protection. Nor will it accept occupation under any designation. A low wave of amusement passed through the chamber. You misunderstand your position, XY Fallon replied calmly. This is not a negotiation. Wren nodded once. That is why I am asking for restraint. Silence returned. Sharper now. Restraint, the Arbiter repeated. From whom? From you, Wren said. From the Council. You are acting on incomplete assumptions. XY Fallon's facets shifted, refracting light into harsher angles. Your species has been observed for decades. Your industrial output, energy signatures, and military emissions are thoroughly catalogued. Catalogued what we chose to emit, Wren replied. A few delegates stirred. XY Fallon raised a limb. Careful, Admiral. Wren did not flinch. We joined the compact to learn, not to posture. We limited our disclosures intentionally. Not to deceive, but to survive. Survive what? Demanded a reptilian envoy from the upper tiers. Wren's gaze did not leave the Arbiter. Exactly this. The chamber dimmed slightly as data streams recalibrated. The Council's patience was thinning. Earth's system will be placed under unified enforcement, XY Fallon declared. Sol will be secured. Human military assets will be neutralized. Governance will remain nominally local, under Council supervision. Wren exhaled slowly. This course, he said, will be interpreted as an act of aggression. And resisted? XY Fallon asked. No, Wren answered. It will be endured. Briefly. The Arbiter studied him. You speak with confidence disproportionate to your capabilities. Wren allowed himself a faint, almost regretful smile. So did we, once. The voting sigils ignited across the chamber. One by one, lights flared. Approval. 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 A cascade of consensus. By unanimous decision, XY Fallon announced, Earth is designated strategically helpless. Enforcement fleets will mobilize immediately. Somewhere deep within the Council's infrastructure, commands propagated outward at faster-than-light speed. Wren did not interrupt. Only when the Arbiter turned away did he speak again. One final clarification, he said. XY Fallon paused. State it. Earth has never submitted a complete defense registry, Wren said. Not once. A few delegates froze mid-motion. That omission, XY Fallon replied, was noted and deemed irrelevant. Wren nodded. Then this conversation is concluded. The Arbiter dismissed him with a gesture. You may observe the proceedings from your seat. Wren returned to the solitary chair. Across the chamber, star maps updated. Vectors appeared, sleek, luminous arcs converging on Sol. Enforcement fleets moved openly, confidently, broadcasting their approach as a lesson. No stealth. No caution. Wren watched without expression. Far away, beneath Earth's crust, systems older than the Compact's oldest charter received a signal they had been waiting for. No alarms sounded. No weapons fired. But across humanity's hidden network, dormant constructs acknowledged activation codes with silent precision. In the Council chamber, High Arbiter XY Fallon addressed the Assembly. Let history record, the Arbiter said, that the galaxy chose order over chaos. Wren looked at the projection of Sol, now surrounded by advancing fleets. History, he knew, was about to be corrected. And the galaxy had no idea how loud silence could become. The Galactic Council celebrated quietly. There were no cheers, no overt displays of triumph. Victory, when inevitable, did not require theatrics. Across the chamber, delegates shifted their attention to logistics, occupation protocols, governance oversight, trade redistribution. Earth had already become a footnote, its fate sealed by procedure. Enforcement fleets advanced through transit corridors with transponders fully lit. Hundreds of vessels, carriers, suppression cruisers, compliance barges, cut precise lines through folded space. Their commanders shared a single assumption: resistance would be symbolic at most. In the Council chamber, High Arbiter XY Fallon reviewed projections. Estimated arrival at Sol, 14 standard cycles, announced a data mine from the upper tier. Human response, none detected. Expected, XY Fallon replied. They understand inevitability. At the bottom tier, Admiral Elias Wren watched the same data in silence. He did not look at the fleets. Instead, his attention rested on a different display, one not visible to the Council. A private overlay, shielded by permissions older than the Compact itself. Phase 1 was already complete. On Earth, the shift was subtle. Orbital traffic adjusted its lanes under the guise of maintenance advisories. Deep-sea energy farms went offline, rerouted through alternative grids. Civil defense channels issued routine notices, storm preparedness, infrastructure testing, evacuation drills labeled as redundancy exercises. No panic. No disruption. Humanity moved the way it always had in moments of crisis, quietly, together, without announcement. Deep beneath the Pacific, gravity anchors disengaged their locks. They had not been powered down. They had been waiting. The first anomaly appeared 12 cycles into the enforcement advance. A scout vessel at the edge of Sol's heliopause transmitted a brief diagnostic burst before going silent. Not destroyed. Not disabled. Simply gone. Signal loss attributed to stellar interference, reported a junior analyst. Ex-wife Allen did not look up. Correct the calibration. Moments later, another scout vanished. Then a third. This time, the silence lingered too long. Expand the sensor net, ex-wife Allen ordered. Data poured in, conflicting, fragmented. Gravity readings spiked and flattened without cause. Space-time curvature bent in ways the models could not reconcile. Sol's star behaved incorrectly. Human emissions remain negligible, the analyst said, uncertain now. No weapons discharge. No propulsion signatures. Then what is altering the field? Demanded a crystalline delegate. Before anyone could answer, the chamber lights dimmed. A transmission request cut through the Council's secure channels. Source, Earth. Ex-wife Allen's facets tightened. Display it. Admiral Wren appeared, seated this time, his posture unchanged. You are experiencing sensor inconsistencies, Wren said evenly. That is not an error. You are interfering with Council operations, ex-wife Allen replied. Cease immediately. Wren shook his head. We are not interfering. We are stabilizing our system. By unknown means, ex-wife Allen snapped. By familiar ones, Wren said. To us. A low murmur spread through the chamber. You were warned, Wren continued. This approach is unsafe. Ex-wife Allen's voice hardened. You will explain yourself. No, Wren replied. I will advise you. The Arbiter leaned forward. This council does not accept advice from helpless species. Wren met the Arbiter's gaze. Then accept data. The projection shifted. Sol's system expanded into a layered schematic. Invisible structures became visible, vast lattices woven between planetary orbits, anchored to gravitational nodes, humming with restrained force. What you are seeing, Wren said, is not a weapon. Several delegates recoiled instinctively. It is a containment architecture, he continued. Built after we nearly destroyed ourselves. Designed to prevent escalation beyond recovery. Ex-wife Allen stared at the display. You expect us to believe this exists unnoticed? You noticed, Wren said. You dismissed it. The Arbiter straightened. Enforcement will proceed. Wren's expression did not change. Then we will demonstrate why that is unwise. Without ceremony, a Council destroyer at the edge of the Sol lattice fired. The beam never reached its target. Mid-flight, the energy stream slowed, visibly, then folded inward, collapsing into a point of light that vanished without explosion. No shockwave. No debris. Just absence. The chamber fell silent. Report, ex-wife Allen demanded. The analyst's voice trembled. The weapon was not neutralized. It was absorbed. Wren spoke softly. Earth does not intercept attacks. We deny them relevance. You cannot hold that field indefinitely, ex-wife Allen said, though doubt had crept into the cadence. We do not need to, Wren replied. You do. A pause stretched between them. Withdraw your fleets, Wren said. This is your final advisory. Ex-wife Allen turned to the Council. Some delegates avoided his gaze. Others pulsed with alarm. We do not retreat, the Arbiter said at last. We escalate. Ren inclined his head once. Then escalation will be educational. The transmission cut. Across Sol, gravity anchors shifted into alignment. The lattice tightened, not aggressively, but deliberately. Space itself grew heavy. Enforcement vessels began reporting maneuvering delays. Thrusters fired, producing diminishing returns. Formations loosened as pilots struggled against unseen resistance. "Restore formation," barked a fleet commander. "We can't," came the reply. "The system won't respond. It's like pushing against." The sentence cut off as the vessel drifted to a halt. In the council chamber, panic crept into the margins. "This is impossible," a delegate whispered. Ren watched the fleet slow on his private display. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. "This is restraint," he said quietly, though no one could hear him now. "You never taught us that. We learned it ourselves." XY Fallon stared at the frozen vectors converging on Sol. For the first time in his long service, the future refused to resolve. And somewhere beyond the Council's reach, humanity waited, still silent, still patient, while the galaxy began to understand the cost of assuming weakness. Emergency protocols overrode centuries of ceremony. The Galactic Council chamber shifted as containment fields tightened and data streams flooded every tier. Delegates abandoned composure in favor of survival instincts. Light flickered as systems recalculated around impossible variables emanating from Sol. High Arbiter XY Fallon remained standing at the central dais, though the chamber itself now felt smaller, compressed by uncertainty. "Status," XY Fallon commanded. A dozen analysts responded at once. Enforcement fleets immobilized. Propulsion ineffective beyond minimal drift. Spatial resistance increasing. No hostile fire detected. The last report hung in the air, unanswered. "No weapons?" XY Fallon demanded. "None," an analyst replied. "The humans are not attacking." That, more than any loss, unsettled the chamber. A transmission request appeared again, Earth. XY Fallon hesitated, then gestured sharply. "Display it." Admiral Elias Wren filled the projection, standing now, hands behind his back. The background was unfamiliar, no bridge, no flag, only darkness punctuated by slow-moving points of light. "You have crossed the threshold," Wren said. "Everything beyond this moment is optional, for you." "You have disabled Council fleets," XY Fallon said. "This is an act of war." Wren's expression remained composed. "No. This is the absence of one." Murmurs erupted. "You immobilized hundreds of vessels," a delegate accused. "We stabilized them," Wren corrected. "They are intact. Crews unharmed. Life support uncompromised." XY Fallon's facets shifted sharply. "Explain." Wren nodded once. "Humanity does not build weapons first. We build limits." The projection behind him expanded. Not Sol, something else. An uninhabited star system appeared, catalog markers flashing at the edges. No colonies. No life signatures. This system was selected because its loss would not destabilize regional space, Wren said. "Observe." No countdown followed. No warning. The star dimmed. Not gradually. Instantly. Light folded inward, drawn into itself with perfect symmetry. Planets followed, their orbits collapsing without debris or flare. In less than a second, the system ceased to exist. Where it had been, nothing remained. Not darkness. Not radiation. Nothing. The council chamber froze. "What did you do?" XY Fallon whispered. "We removed it from relevance," Wren replied. "Contain collapse. No shockwave. No contamination. Permanent." A delegate cried out. Another fled their platform, instincts overriding protocol. "You destroyed a star," XY Fallon said, voice unsteady. "No," Wren said. "We prevented one from ever becoming a battlefield." Silence crushed the chamber. This, Ren continued, is what restraint looks like when survival is the objective. XY Fallon steadied himself. Why reveal this now? Because you forced the equation, Ren said. We remained silent for centuries. We buried our capabilities. We let you believe we were small. Why? A delegate asked. Why hide such power? Ren's gaze softened, just slightly. Because power invites tests. Humanity learned early that winning every war still leads to extinction. The Arbiter's voice hardened with desperation. You cannot police the galaxy. We do not intend to, Ren replied. We only police our extinction. Data alarms flared again. Arbiter, an analyst said, the Soul Lattice is expanding its influence envelope. XY Fallon turned sharply. Toward Council space. No, the analyst said. Away from it. Ren nodded. We are disengaging. Confusion rippled outward. You demonstrate annihilation, XY Fallon said, then withdraw? Yes, Ren answered. Because this was never about dominance. The Arbiter's posture faltered. Then what do you want? Ren did not answer immediately. When Earth nearly destroyed itself, he said at last, we learned that survival requires final options. Options you never need to use, once they are known. The chamber grew still. We will withdraw all enforcement fleets, XY Fallon said carefully. We will rescind the Helpless designation. That is insufficient, Ren replied. A collective intake of breath swept the tears. Earth will retain sovereignty, Ren said. Permanent. Unconditional. We will hold veto authority equal to any founding species. XY Fallon hesitated. Additionally, Ren continued, no council vessel will enter Sol without invitation. Ever. The Arbiter looked around the chamber. Delegates avoided his gaze, calculations racing behind alien eyes. Put it to vote, XY Fallon said. The lights ignited again. This time, approval followed approval without pause. Unanimous. The Arbiter exhaled slowly. The motion passes. Ren inclined his head. Then we are finished. The transmission ended. Across Sol, gravity anchors disengaged. The lattice relaxed. Enforcement fleets regained control, drifting backward, not chased, not threatened. Released. In the council chamber, the aftermath settled heavily. What have we allowed? A delegate whispered. XY Fallon did not respond. On Earth, Admiral Ren stood alone, watching stars resume their natural motion. Systems powered down one by one, returning to dormancy beneath oceans and continents. A junior officer's voice came through a secure channel. All constructs secured, sir. Ren closed his eyes briefly. Good. Let them sleep. Yes, sir. Ren looked out at the quiet sky. Humanity had shown the galaxy the edge of the abyss, not to push it forward, but to ensure no one ever tried again. And for the first time in galactic history, silence carried weight enough to keep the peace. The galaxy did not recover all at once. Shock does not travel evenly across civilizations measured in light years and centuries. It rippled instead, through delayed transmissions, rewritten doctrines, and meetings held behind closed star doors. Systems that had trusted the Council's permanence began to question what permanence meant. At the center of it all, Earth said nothing. The Galactic Council reconvened 3 cycles later, not by tradition but necessity. The chamber felt altered, though its structure remained unchanged. Platforms sat farther apart now, their occupants less eager to crowd the dais. The blue giant outside continued its burn, indifferent. High Arbiter XY Fallon entered without ceremony. He had not slept. Begin, he said. Reports followed in restrained voices. Trade routes rerouted to avoid Sol by margins once reserved for supernovae. Military academies suspended long-held curricula. Several member species formally requested clarification on the newly ratified Terran veto. XY Fallon listened, unmoving. The humans have issued no follow-up communications, an analyst concluded. No demands. No policy statements. A ripple of unease passed through the chamber. They dismantled nothing, said a delegate whose species relied on predictive stability. They merely stepped back. That is what unsettles us, another replied. Power that withdraws is harder to measure. XY Fallon raised a limb. Silence returned. Earth has complied with every clause of the resolution, he said. They have not expanded influence. They have not deployed forces. They have not altered trade. Yet nothing is the same, a crystalline envoy said quietly. No, XY Fallon agreed. It is not. Far away, Earth resumed its rhythms. Cities glowed at night as they always had. Launch windows opened and closed. Children went to school unaware that their sky had briefly become a line no one dared cross. News feeds reported diplomatic victories without spectacle. There were no parades. No declarations. In a quiet facility carved into ancient stone, Admiral Elias Wren stood before a wall of inactive systems. All anchors secured, reported Commander Hale, her tone careful. Dormancy confirmed across the lattice. Wren nodded. Any anomalies? None, she said. Then hesitated. Sir, do you think they'll test us again? Wren considered the question longer than she expected. Yes, he said finally. Eventually. Hale frowned. Then why shut everything down? Wren turned to face her. His expression was tired, but steady. Because deterrence isn't about fear, he said. It's about certainty. They know now. That's enough. She absorbed that, then saluted softly and left him alone. Wren remained, listening to the hum of systems that no longer needed to speak. On the Council's outer rim, XY Fallon stood watching Sol's position on the star map, now surrounded by an unspoken void of respect. No fleet markers approached. None would. A junior arbiter stepped forward. High Arbiter, History Council's request guidance. How should this era be recorded? XY Fallon did not answer immediately. Record it accurately, he said at last. We misjudged. We survived the correction. And Earth? Earth, XY Fallon said, chose restraint when dominance was available. The words tasted unfamiliar. Back on Earth, Wren walked beneath an open sky. The stars looked unchanged, but he knew better. Somewhere out there, doctrines were being rewritten with Earth in mind. Children on distant worlds would learn caution where certainty once lived. His comm chimed softly. Sir, Hale said, the Council has formally closed the Sol incident. Wren smiled faintly. Good. Let them. He looked up again, past satellites and stations, past the hidden machinery resting beneath gravity and stone. Humanity had not won a war. It had ended the idea that war was inevitable. That, Wren knew, carried a different kind of burden. And as Earth turned quietly beneath the stars, the galaxy learned a final lesson. That the most dangerous civilizations were not those who sought power, but those who understood exactly when not to use it.